Welcome to this next video lecture. We were discussing about the unit number 4, that is related to social problems. So in this today's video lecture we are going to study another social problem, that is bonded labor. Previously we studied about the unemployment, that is also a social problem. We studied about the unemployment, and right now we are going to study bonded labor. Okay, so let's move on. See here the image. In this image you will observe that a baby child, a girl child, who is trapped, who is enmeshed, okay, and she is got in the trouble, or it is a symbolic image you may observe in this current ppt. So same thing we are going to study here, that is bonded labor as called as a modern day slavery. Okay, so these are the some glimpses or snapshots or news which is published as regarding the bonded labor. And what is said here, see, bonded labor is a serious issue which is not duly highlighted. The media should give the issue the necessary coverage. So media plays a very vital role to give the focus on these social problems or social ill will, and by giving this coverage, so media will create the awareness in the society regarding how to solve this bonded labor, or prepare an action plan that will end the bonded labor. Sorry. So see here, bonded labor, what is that called here concept? What is concept of bonded labor? See, bonded labor or debt bondage, it is also considered as a debt bondage, the least known form of slavery today, and yet it is the most widely used method of enslaving people. Means it is a considered as a enslaving the people. Means you can make the slaves, make people slaves by money power. Okay, so see here some attributes of bonded labor. Where we found the bonded labors, it is founded in the, it is found in the at the dangerous workplaces. Again, it has excessive working hours. Again, it is the subjection to psychological, verbal and physical and sexual abuse. Then it is obliged to work by circumstances or individuals, and they are not provided any pay. Again, work and life on the streets in bad conditions, and inability to escape from the poverty cycle, no access to education. Then what is that called here? Bonded labor. So a person becomes a bonded labor when his or her labor is demanded as a means of repayment for a loan, and the person is then tricked or trapped into working for very little or no pay, often for 7 days a week. So the value of their work is invariably greater than the original sum of money borrowed. Means whatever the value of their work, it was comparably very less that was actually given to the working people. So the United Nations Working Group on Contemporary Forms of Slavery estimated in 1999 that some 20 million people are held in bonded labor around the world. Again, bonded labor has existed for thousands of years. It has existed thousands of years, and in South Asia, it took root in the caste system, and continue continues to flourish in feudal agricultural relationships. Bonded labor was also used as a method of colonial labor recruitment for plantations in Africa, the Caribbean, and Southeast Asia. So, bonded laborers are routinely threatened with and subjected to physical and sexual violence. They are kept under various forms of surveillance, in some cases by armed guards. So these are very few cases where chains are actually used, although it does occur. But these constraints on the bonded laborers are every bit as real and as restricting. So poverty and people prepared to exploit the desperation of others lies at the heart of bonded labor. So what is mentioned in the Indian Constitution or enacted in the Indian Constitution regarding bonded labor? See, or what are the articles that may give the protection to the bonded laborers? See here. So Article 21 of the Constitution of India guarantees the right to life, right to life and liberty. And the practice of bonded labor violates all of these constitutionally mandated rights. And Article 23 of the Constitution prohibits the practice of debt bondage and other forms of slavery, both modern and ancient. So, traffic in human beings and beggar and other similar forms of forced labor are prohibited, and any contravention of this provision shall be an offence punishable in accordance with the law. So, 23 Article 23 prohibits the employment of children in factories, mines, and other hazardous occupations. So, together, Article 23 and 24 are placed under the headings Right Against Exploitation. So, one of India's constitutionally proclaimed fundamental rights. Okay, so we are discussing about the basic human rights, and we now get the importance, how much it is important to know about the concepts of different concepts in basic human rights. Why? Because basic human rights are enacted in every country's constitution, and that gives us honor, that gives us dignity, that gives us free play or freedom to live in the society as a good life. Again, what to know? It is a right, it is a, we should know our rights. So bonded labor system, or that is the abolition act that was enacted in 1976. What are the salient features of the act here? So it is totally abolishes, the feature one is that uh, totally abolishes bonded labor. This abolition act abolishes bonded labor totally. Then next feature is that to identify and rehabilitate bonded laborers. Third feature is that identify certain scheme on committees to be formed at the district level. The next is punishment of up to 3 years imprisonment and or fine. So any attachment of property of bonded laborers stands cancelled from the date of enforcement of the act. If any property of bonded labor is attached, then it will be cancelled from the date of enforcement of the act. Okay, means such kind of malpractices would be happening in the past or in ancient time, that is to attach, to confiscate, to take away the property of the bonded laborers, to repay their debts. Again, employers not to evict the bonded laborers from the accommodation provided. So these are the salient features of bonded laborers abolition act, that is 1976. Then see here several stories are mentioned in forthcoming slides, that those are very heart wrenching stories. We may see here case study 1. See here in case study 1, case study wise we may discuss how that problem was emerged in the societies. So Jayanti versus Sri Lakshmi modern rice mill. Okay, Jayanti is the name of a woman who was bonded labor, and she was working in Sri Lakshmi modern rice mills in Anandpura, Andhra Pradesh. And how the problem was bonded labor was solved there with the help of NGO. Let us see that story. So, what is the fact of the case? See here. After losing her husband to an illness, Jayanti was forced to step in as the bread earner for 6 young children. She has 6 young children, and with no education, work was hard to come by for her, and existence was at bare subsistence levels. And Jayanti got by working as a casual laborer, and as her sons become older, they too pitched in the same bonded labor. So life was to take a nastier turn for Jayanti when her eldest child was to get married. Even the most shoestring wedding budget worked out to rupees 10,000 money that Jayanti didn't have. And she also had no land or assets she could sell. Anything of value she had was long gone. So, like many before her in village in Andhra Pradesh, Jayanti approached the owners of the Sri Lakshmi modern rice mills for a loan and a job to help pay it off. So, what was the working condition of Jayanti? Here, so Jayanti was made to work long hours under inhuman conditions. She couldn't go home. Her wages were way below the minimum wage rate. Means what was her wage? Her wage was very less that could be offered to a regular worker, and she had to put up with repeated sexual abuse by her employers. Then she was also abused sexually. Means some words were wrong words were used to call her. Then Jayanti, whose pitiful plight is narrated by the Bandhua 1945 campaign, Bandhua Mukti Morcha 1947, run by 5 organizations working in this space, is bonded labor, forced or partly forced labor governed by a debtor creditor agreement. Again, the reality, see, this is the reality where these people were exploited in our country. Okay, and somehow that Manrega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, helped these people to earn money and to earn the bread of butter. Again, what is the role of modern day slavery hub? So supported by Humanity United SEER, role of modern day slavery hub. So back in Anandpura, facilitator Albina Gid, she was a facilitator, Albina Gid, is helping to spread the word. She has had to negotiate with the community leaders, that is mill owners, the village panchayat, local government body, and other influential people in the community to allow the listening and the discussion process to take place. So people started endorsing the idea of listening to the program together and discussing the issue. And Jayanti was the one of those victims who was rescued by this NGO out of this vicious circle of bondage when she failed to get any help from government. And share the struggle and initiatives. So, as it is difficult to reach current victims directly, the listener village helps community members to identify them, complementing local initiatives focused on rescue and rehabilitation. So, stories of struggle and success are gathered by reporters from the local community trained in bonded labor awareness, then community engagement, and using recording equipment. A 30-minute video radio program tilted मजबूर किसको बोला, that is who are you calling helpless, is then produced in our New Delhi office, containing drama based on the stories gathered along with expert interviews and folk music. So each episode also contains crucial information on government schemes and agencies that target bonded labor, on the Bonded Labor Abolition Act, safe migration, trafficking, methods of rescue, minimum wages, and how NGOs and the media can help those bonded laborers. So, dissemination is undertaken by community facilitators like Gid. The name is that Albina Gid. She is a facilitator. A facilitator means person who helps them. So, who are identified as agent of change within their village by partner NGOs and are trained on group cohesion and conflict resolution, along with how to capture results coming from the activities. So, facilitators organize their village into groups to listen to each episode, engage in discussion afterwards, and act on the information they have heard. So they ensure that at least half of household listen to each episode every week, and in this way they could create the awareness. So case study 2, that is Jayantilal and Company. So Jayantilal and Company is the name, that is a Zari unit in Bapunagar area, Ahmedabad, owned by Zia ul Haq Sheikh. So, see, a complaint in December 2001 was raised against this sheikh. So, what is the facts of case here? A team of the State Labor Department raided a Zahari unit and found children working there. 6 kids from Bihar as bonded laborers at a Zahari unit. Then Sheikh was booked under the Bonded Labor Abolition Act. Then complaint against Sheikh. What is the complaints here? Child laborers were confined inside Sheikh's workplace and were made to do Zahari work. Then the children were made to work without fixed working hours and were paid below the minimum wages. So, what was the working condition at Zahari unit at Jayendilal company, Seer, which was owned by Ziaul Sheikh? So what was the working condition? There was no proper visibility, no proper ventilation, normal work day of 16 hours, very low wage rate, labor suffering from suffocation due to cloth dust, suffering from eye problems and spinal disorder, no proper medical facilities available, proper drinking water was not available. So such kind of working condition was present at Jayantilal company. So let's see what was the court decision which was not in favor of those bonded laborers. So case filed by prosecution agency was weak. See here, weak, it should be WEAK. Okay, the prosecution agency was weak and no strong evidence or witness, and hence court gave decision in favor of Sheikh. So what was the reasons for failure of case in court? We should be aware what is the failure to give the punishment to Sheikh. Okay, so some glaring loopholes in the case prepared by the prosecuting agency, means there were some loopholes, some drawbacks in that case. Then the court acquitted Sheikh, giving him a benefit of doubt, means court only supposing or treating that person on the ground of doubt only. So complainant officer was not authorized to lodge the complaint by the concerned higher authorities. No definite evidence was produced about the age and names of the child laborers, means prosecutor doesn't know the names of the child laborers. Even prosecutor was not a uh, authorized person to lodge a complaint. So it should be there. So no statement of the victims were recorded and placed before the court during the trial. That should be taken, but it was not taken. The presiding officer also criticized the prosecution on the ground that he didn't specify the wage given. Means what was the wage given to the bonded laborers? It was not mentioned there. Then prosecution couldn't even prove that the kids were working at the same Zahari unit. Okay, so such kind of reasons were there for failure of case in court. And what is the case conclusion? See, in India there are certain rules to avoid child labor but are not implemented due to following reasons, that is poverty and unemployment, lack of awareness, lengthy court procedures. Okay, these are the several reasons. Because of that we are not entertaining or we are not solving this child labor problem. Then case study 3, that is Bandhua Mukti Morcha versus Union of India. See here, in Bandhua Mukti Morcha versus Union of India, the main issue concern the existence of bonded labor in the Faridabad stone quarries near the city of Delhi. So it was this is another case at Faridabad. Okay, so it was alleged that majority of the workers were compelled to migrate from other states and turn into bonded laborers, and the workers were living in subhuman and miserable conditions. These people were, those were migrant, those were afterwards transformed into bonded laborers. They were living in subhuman and miserable conditions. A violation of various labor laws and the Bonded Labor Abolition Act 1970 was alleged, means that a violation or a violation of Bonded Labor Abolition Act was happened in 1976. Abolition Act that was enacted in 1976, that was violated in the form of in the form of uh, migrant workers who are not getting the basic human rights, who are transformed into bonded laborers. So see here, so what were the legal rulings? So the Supreme Court, yes, see, the Supreme Court stated that before a bonded laborer can be regarded as a bonded laborer, he must not only be forced to provide labor to the employer, but he must have also received an advance or other economic consideration from the employer. Means that bonded labor should get the advance, and it will be a evidence for his called as a bonded labor. So a public interest litigation, PIL, public interest litigation was uh, brought against the inhuman working conditions in the stone quarries in Bandhua Mukti Morcha versus Union of India and others. This was primarily brought as the various directions given by the apex court in the 1984 petition brought by the same appellants had not been implemented by the various state government. Again, it may be noted that in this case, a letter addressed to this court complaining about prevalence of bonded labor system in Kutan, Anagpur, and Lakharpur areas in Haryana was treated as a writ petition under Article 32 of the Constitution. The court held that what is necessary is provision of a permanent base for residence of the laborers at or near the work site. So this would necessitate reasonable housing, supply of water, a reasonable provision store at hand, schooling facility, facility of hospital, recreational facilities, and attention to the law and order problem. So the court directed the state of Haryana to attend to the needs of the workmen in a well considered and systematic way and to provide them with the facilities mentioned above. So another case study is that regarding child bonded laborers, child laborers as well as child bonded laborers, and this is the India's hidden shame. So it is the story which happened in the Delhi, story of Lakshmi, and she was rescued by Bachpan Bachao Andolan. Now let's see the story of this Lakshmi. So what are the facts of the case? 30, 13 years old Lakshmi was abducted 4 years ago from a village in northeast India. Until her rescue, she had been working in people's home across West Delhi. And what kind of work she was doing there in West Delhi? Cooking, cleaning, taking care of children, other household chores. So what is the working condition? So Shrey, she here, her condition. A frail and frightened Lakshmi describes her nightmare into NGO people. So what was her description regarding her condition? See, she was not allowed to rest. She couldn't go home. For even small mistakes, she was being constantly hit by her employers. She was the victim of verbal abuse as well. She was never allowed to leave the house, so she didn't realize that she is in Delhi. Her employers told her that we are in Madras in South India. As the police and counselors question her, Lakshmi breaks down. She tells the police that she was sexually assaulted by the men who kidnapped her. She was threatened that if she told anyone about it, they would tell everyone back home in her village and her honor would be destroyed. In this way, she was blackmailed. And then, when started working, the agent, the agent who arranged her work withheld all her wages, leaving her with nothing. So, her agent used to take her all wages. Okay, that was the malpractice happening with Lakshmi. So in this case, government was helpless. How? See, the government body in charge of children's right admits they are helpless. How? See here, how they were helpless. So unfortunately, our Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act is totally outdated, says Kushal Singh, head of the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. It says children below the age of 14 cannot be employed in hazardous occupations. What is the another meaning of this statement? So, does that mean in non hazardous occupations a 2-year-old child can be employed? So, this is the question. So, obviously, it's a very repressive act. This issue has been raised, and now an amendment is pending. Means actually, it might be uh, done, okay, in the parliament. However, it has been pending for a very long, it was pending for a very long time, and if the law changes, it will make the fight against child exploitation a little easier. But there's no relief for families like this. So many here fear that their daughters may be lost forever. So, what are the initiatives by Bachpan Bachao Andolan here? Bachpan Bachao Andolan was formed in 1980 by Kailash Satyarthi, was appalled by the plight of child laborers. So, the work of BBA takes three strands. The work of BBA has taken three strands, that is being prevention, protection and rehabilitation. So prevention, first strand is here. Prevention is encouraged through community intervention, public awareness campaigns and efforts to publicize the problems of child labor to consumers. The BBS Child Friendly Village Program in Hindi, that is Bal Mitra Program or BMC, has been accepted as a best practice model for development and elimination of child labor and trafficking. So BBA plays a vital role, and Kailash Satyarthi also plays a very vital role to eradicate this child labor or child bonded labor malpractice in the society. So protection. Another stand by BB is that, or Bachpan Bachao Andolan is that, protection. Where possible, the Indian legislative provisions are used to restrain and eliminate the practices of child labor and trafficking, and campaigns for tightening and developing the legislation are pursued. BBA works to recover fines from employers and traffickers and also to obtain monies owed to those whose labor has been used. And third strand is that rehabilitation. So BBA tries to ensure that rehabilitation remains the responsibility of the state government, and statutory rehabilitation is one of the key components of legal action, and this includes a fine of rupees 20,000 rupees on the employer in case of child labor, a further compensation of rupees 20,000 for the government apart from other government social welfare schemes. Again, see here, every 8 minutes child is abducted as a bonded labor, means this is the very old newspaper, although it gives a good message, it creates awareness. What is quotation given here? See, regarding the child labor, put them in glasses, not in a tea glasses. Put them in classes, not in tea glasses, means we should avoid the child labor. So see here, as what is the conclusion of this PPT or overall the story of this bonded labor. So the Bonded Labor System Abolition Act was enacted in 1976. 20 years later, Human Rights Watch was found that the goals of this law to punish employers of the bonded labor and to identify, release and rehabilitate bonded laborers have not been met. The district level vigilance committees mandated by the Bonded Labor Abolition Act and constituting the key to the enforcement of the act have not been forced in most districts. Those that have formed tend to lie dormant. Whether for lack of will or lack of support, India's district collectors have failed utterly to enforce the provisions of the Bonded Labor Abolition Act. The state of Tamil Nadu has an estimated 1 million bonded laborers. Again, this is the global slavery index which was recorded in 2013. Okay, you may observe on net also afterwards. So what are the solutions for bonded labor? It is given here. See, the mandate rehabilitation of released workers is essential. Mandated rehabilitation of released workers is essential. Without adequate rehabilitation, those who are released will quickly fall again into bondage. Nonetheless, the central and the state governments have jointly failed to implement the required rehabilitation procedures. Finally, the Bonded Labor Abolition Act directs vigilance committees and district collectors to institute savings and credit programs at the community level so that the impoverished might have access to a small loan during financial emergencies. The eradication of bonded labor, child labor in India depends on the Indian government's commitment to two imperatives. or orders, that is enforcement of the Bonded Labor Abolition Act and the creation of meaningful alternatives for already bonded laborers and those at risk of joining their ranks. So, we should eradicate these bonded laborers and we should fight against this crime against the bonded labor. Okay, so let's unite for to fight against this crime that of bonded labor. So the things that we wanted to get in this video lecture was somewhere in India might be having or available this problem, that is bonded labor, and if it is happening around us, it is our duty or responsibility to make aware those people, those employers, that not to follow such kind of malpractice to have bonded laborers, and if it is happening, it is our duty to file a complaint, lodge a complaint against this ill will in the society. So uh, so that we can enjoy freely the basic human rights. So that's all in this current video lecture, and I declare that the unit number 4, that is regarding the social problems, is also ends here. So we will again discuss some videos in uh, next week or next days. Okay, so thank you and have a nice day.